You know that voice in your head that comments on every single thing that happens in your life? The same one that goes, I'm so stupid, every time you embarrass yourself in front of your crush. Or that goes, damn, I did great at that job, every time you do well in your exams. That's your inner voice, and the way it speaks to you is your self-talk. And it can literally make the difference between setting you up for success or dooming you for failure, depending on how you train it. This is why you need to understand the impact your self-talk has on literally every facet of your life, and learn to train your self-talk so that it stops weighing you down and starts empowering you and setting you up for success. And that's exactly what we're going to discuss today. But before that, story time. Once upon a time, in a small village somewhere in the world, there lived an old man who owned a few elephants. One day, a traveler was passing through the village and spotted the elephants in the distance. Excited, he went up to the elephants to take a few pictures, but was shocked to find that the huge creatures were only held in place by a small rope, which they could easily break free from. The traveler noticed the owner of the elephants sitting in a chair nearby. He walked up to him and asked him why the elephants didn't break the rope and run free. The old man smiled and said, "When the elephants are young, the rope is strong enough to keep them in place. No matter how hard the young elephants tug at the rope, it doesn't break. So over time, the elephants simply accept that the rope is too strong for them, and they stop trying to break free." I think you see where I'm going with this. Like the elephants, we too are held down by these ropes that we could easily break free from if we tried. But the only thing that stops us from doing so is the fact that we subconsciously accepted our defeat. Where does self-talk fit into all of this? Well, the way you describe a situation to yourself and the way you talk about your abilities to yourself plays a huge role in shaping your worldview and self-concept. Each time you fail at something and tell yourself something like, "This is too hard," or "I can't do this," you're introducing limitations to your beliefs about yourself and what you're capable of achieving. Each isolated instance of you saying things like these about yourself may seem harmless, but over time, it seeps into your subconscious until you don't even know you hold this belief. Psychologists actually have a pretty elegant word of these limiting self-beliefs. They call it learned helplessness, and it basically describes the phenomenon where people give up on trying to make a situation better for themselves because they've repeatedly faced fear and adversity in the past. Now, learned helplessness is a pretty dangerous thing, not only because it slowly sneaks up on you, but also because it shapes your perception of reality, which means that it will cause you to adopt a resigned attitude toward all aspects of your life. For example, if you perform poorly in your studies a few times in a row and experience turbulence with a couple of your friendships at the same time, which is a common experience for teenagers, you might end up having a resigned attitude in both of these facets of your life. Not just that, if you start seeing yourself as a resigned individual, this attitude will spill over to the other facets of your life. Your trust in your ability to face adversity, and many more. And this isn't just a baseless theory. It's a phenomenon that's been studied over and over by psychologists around the world. Take a look at this 2-year study conducted in 1989 that measured the long-term impact of learned helplessness on students' long-term academic performance. The study recruited 108 third graders as well as their teachers for the experiment. Each of the students was given 3 separate questionnaires to measure their levels of learned helplessness. The students were also given a couple of other measures to check their test anxiety levels. Next, the students' report card results for English and math were noted for reference, and 2 years later, their results in these disciplines were recorded. The results showed a strong correlation between learned helplessness and test anxiety, and high levels of learned helplessness corresponded to poor academic performance in the 3rd grade. What's more is that when the students' academic performance was measured again 2 years later, the results only showed minor deviations from the previous results. This shows that learned helplessness can have long-term negative impacts on your life, so it's important to unlearn it as soon as you can. And this isn't just true for academic performance, by the way. Similar studies conducted on tennis players have shown a similar relationship between learned helplessness and performance. How do you stop this from happening? Well, the answer, of course, is changing your self-talk. For example, if instead of saying, I can't do this, it's too difficult, you said something like, this is challenging, but I'm excited to learn from this situation. I am capable of doing this, even though it may be challenging. You would be telling yourself that you do in fact believe in your abilities, that you trust that you have the power to overcome difficult situations, and that even if you aren't able to do this, it's not the end of the world. This way, you'll view any difficulty or adversity that comes your way as an opportunity to grow instead of an obstacle in your path, and it will allow you to make the most out of your circumstances. Another reason why you should care about the way you talk to yourself is that it will literally end up shaping your life. There's a phenomenon in social psychology known as a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it's when a person's expectation and beliefs about themselves end up shaping their behavior in a way that reinforces those initial beliefs. Let me give you an example. Imagine you score poorly on a couple of your tests in school and start telling yourself, consciously or unconsciously, that maybe you're not academically inclined. As a result, you will begin to internalize this belief and develop a low self-confidence in your academic ability. You will start doubting your potential and feel anxious and resigned whenever exams come up. Due to your diminished confidence and a lack of motivation, you will not be able to fully engage in your studies, ultimately leading to a poor performance which will be reflected in your results. This result will reinforce your initial belief and the cycle will go on and on. The prophecy of being not academically inclined ends up getting fulfilled because their own beliefs and behaviors align with the negative expectation placed upon them. The initial label becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy as their performance reinforces the original belief. In this example, the negative expectations and beliefs about the student's academic ability influence their behavior, leading to outcomes that align with those expectations. The student's diminished effort and motivation contribute to their academic struggles, reinforcing the initial perception and fulfilling the prophecy. This is why when you face any sort of failure or adversity in life, it's important that you use positive self-talk to tell your brain to view the situation as an opportunity to learn instead of a defining failure. You need to actively remind yourself that your failures don't define you or reflect the limitation of your ability, but are rather opportunities for you to learn and grow. So now we understand the profound impact self-talk can have on your life. It's time to talk about the different ways you can train your self-talk to go from holding you back in life to empowering you and lifting you to success. Here are 7 actionable ways you can convert your negative self-talk into a positive and constructive one. It all starts with awareness. Pay attention to the negative thoughts that pop up in your mind throughout the day. Identify those self-defeating phrases like, I can't do this, or I always mess up. Once you catch them, challenge their validity. Ask yourself, is this thought really true? Are there any counterexamples? Often, you'll find that these thoughts are based on unfounded beliefs or past experiences that no longer hold true. Now that you're aware of your negative self-talk, it's time to counteract it with positive affirmations. Identify empowering statements that resonate with you. For example, if you catch yourself saying, I'm terrible at public speaking, replace it with something like, I'm continually improving my public speaking skills and I'm becoming more confident every day. Repeat these affirmations regularly to rewire your brain and to reinforce positive self-talk. We often tend to be harsher on ourselves than we are on others. Cultivating self-compassion is crucial in converting negative self-talk. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding, just as you would a close friend. When you make a mistake or face a setback, remember that it's part of a learning process and an opportunity for growth. Offer yourself words of encouragement and remind yourself that everyone experiences ups and downs. I understand a lot of people have trouble practicing self-compassion because unfortunately, they don't hold kind beliefs about themselves. But the great thing about self-compassion is that you don't have to hold these beliefs to start it. Start small. Do nice things for yourself bit by bit, even if it doesn't feel natural. Over time, your actions should help alter your beliefs and help you understand your true worth. Literally try your best just to fake it till you make it. Negative self-talk often magnifies our weaknesses and downplays our strengths. Shift your perspective by consciously focusing on your positive qualities and achievements. Keep a gratitude journal and write down 3 things that you're grateful for every day. Celebrate your successes, big or small, and remind yourself of the unique qualities that make you special. Recognizing your strengths will boost your confidence and transform your self-talk. The company we keep greatly impacts our self-talk. Surround yourself with positive, supportive people who uplift and encourage you. Engage in communities that promote personal growth and positivity. Fill your social media feeds with motivational content, inspiring quotes, and success stories. By immersing yourself in a positive environment, you'll naturally absorb more positive self-talk and thoughts. Another way to do this, by the way, is to read self-help books. I've personally found them really helpful in improving my self-talk. And I feel like it works so well because when you gain exposure to the positive ideas and trains of thought in self-help books, over time your brain adopts the way of thinking and you're able to develop a positive voice inside of your mind. Adopting a growth mindset is a game changer when it comes to transforming negative self-talk. Understand that your abilities and intelligence can improve with effort and practice. Embrace challenges as opportunities for learning and see failures as stepping stones towards success. By believing in your capacity to grow and improve, you'll develop a more positive and resilient mindset. Sometimes negative self-talk becomes deeply ingrained, and it can be challenging to overcome it alone. If your negative thoughts persist or significantly affect your well-being, don't hesitate to seek help from a mental health professional. They can provide guidance, support, and tailored strategies to help you overcome negative self-talk and develop healthier thought patterns. That's pretty much it. These are the 7 actionable ways you can train your inner voice to work for you instead of against. If there's anything that you want to share from your experience that has helped you improve your self-talk, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next one.